Welcome to Nerdmania. I'm Jim Wolfblood,
And I'm Eze The Gamer.
and today we're going to be talking about Avengers: Infinity War. All right, so this movie, I love this movie, and it actually drug my ass onto the internet. I try to avoid being on the internet, like actually being in a video, and I've been doing a lot of podcasts lately. But actually, I really want to talk about this. All right, so tell me what your thoughts on it.
Actually, the same thing. This is the first movie I've ever done this for, which was to stay away from social media completely.
Yeah,
Like from Thursday night, it came out. I think that Thursday night, some places, and then actually came out here Friday. But I stayed away from social media Thursday night up until Monday morning or something like that. And I just did not want any spoilers. I was like, man, I don't want anything to ruin this movie for me. So I just kept away from it.
it was hard actually avoiding spoilers. I had to like the same thing. I had to stay away from Facebook because people were posting stuff about it all the time. They started posting memes about it. There's one particular meme that they post where it's a lot of random pictures
Mhm.
that are in fact it's Infinity War spoilers, but you have to know what you're looking for to know what it's saying.
Yes. Actually, I saw that picture. Like the thing, what I sort of did to sort of ignore the spoilers, because there's some where you can see where they spoil it. So I sort of looked through my phone and not at my phone, so I
Yeah,
could sort of ignore what was going on. But one that picture you were talking about, I saw it as well. It was like a whole bunch of pictures without context, but it's like
yeah.
had to do with the movie. So afterwards, I looked at it. I was like, "Oh, okay. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. Oh," it's like, "Oh, okay." It was kind of
It was
funny.
kind of funny trying to guess which ones are spoilers and which
Yeah.
ones like what it matches up with. Because
Yeah, yeah,
things I didn't understand, like, wait a minute, when did this happen, or how does this relate to anything? And
yep, exactly.
I try to figure it out over time.
Yeah, so it's like it, and of course that one because I didn't understand it at first, and it said my favorite villain, and it showed a picture of Squidward. I thought that was hilarious afterwards because I when I first saw it, I was like, I don't get it, and then afterwards, I was like, oh, I get it now. So all right, so you want to get on the first topics?
Oh yes, so it picks up immediately after Thor Ragnarok. So we're seeing them, I guess, on the ship that they were on when they were trying to escape from
Yeah,
Asgard, and then Thanos shows up and he attacks them,
yeah.
and we see some of the first deaths in the movie.
Actually, funny thing to say, actually, and I know it's kind of a what is it, a common sense type of deal, but in case y'all don't know, spoilers ahead.
Oh yeah,
Because it's like,
spoilers.
yeah, like huge spoilers. So just in case, you're watching, you're like, oh, maybe this is a review. No, this is complete spoilers. Do not watch this. If you think this is complete spoilers, we're just talking. We're basically dissecting what had happened throughout the movie. So
I think at this point we've actually seen enough reviews to know the movie's good. So this is less of a review and more of a discussion of the movie.
yeah, it was funny enough actually. I forgot what I was looking at. I think it was like a trailer of the movie,
Yeah.
and I read a comment. It was like, "This had been one of the most overrated movies." And what else did it say? Horrible character development. I don't know what. And he's like, and that's all I have to say about the Justice League. But but the Avengers was perfect. I was like, oh, dude, you caught us good. I was like, oh, that was hilarious. But it's like, like you said, it did start off right after Ragnarok. If you didn't watch it to the end and you saw that big ship, I automatically knew. I was like, dude. I looked at my brother. I was like, dude, that's Thanos. I was like, dude, they're screwed. That's Thanos. And like some things like that, and like if you have, of course, like if you've made it this far, you've watched the movie, but they kept you entertained from that beginning scene, right?
Yeah.
When, like something that shocked me was when he like manhandled Hulk.
Oh man.
That was so like because it was such a big deal because it's like, hey, this is our trump card. He's just taking the punches like nothing. He's just like, hey, let me give you a little something, pop pop. It's like, oh damn, what's going on?
We're like just let him have his fun. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was like, when he said that, I was like, wait, what? And then like once he picked them up and dropped, I was like, what? I was like, oh dude, they're screwed. They're screwed. But what'd you think of that?
He basically kicked his ass and put him in timeout for the rest of the movie, basically.
Yep.
He was
Like
he was gone for the rest of the
want to
movie.
come out. And what's worse about it is that they what's it called? They made us think, or not made us think, but they made us because in the trailer they show him running with the crowd.
Yeah.
They show him running with Captain America and the Wakanda people, so it's like, oh, he's coming back. Nope, he did not come back. He was too thinking to come back out. He's like, no, I don't want to come back out.
I was just waiting for that scene when he comes back out. It just never happened. It's kind of a shock, like, to be honest, the whole movie reminds me of The Empire Strikes Back, how everything just goes wrong.
Oh yeah.
But at the same time, it feels like they give you moments of hope. They're just shattered over time.
Yep, yeah, and that's why I feel like it works so perfectly, because it's like, it's not like, I forgot who said it. Somebody at work actually said that the ending sucked, and I was, oh no, I wasn't at work. I was at church. You're like, the ending sucked though. And I was like, dude, that was the only way they can end it.
Yeah.
It's to me, I was like, even though it was such a bad ending, it was a good ending. Yeah. I felt like that was really the only way they can end it, unless you wanted everybody dead, But yeah. So and another thing I wanted to, I guess, ask you. I kind of took over your stream, didn't I?
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. This is a total open discussion. Like we're this is not my show. We're co-hosting this, so say whatever you want.
Okay.
Get deep into it.
So something that made me think. And I talked to my brother and my sister, and the thing is that they're sort of that in that wave of they don't understand, they don't dissect it as deep, as we do, So to me, I don't think Loki is dead. I don't think so. He's dead. I don't think.
I have a feeling he is, because they made that comment. He's not coming back this time, and we've always seen Loki die, and they find ways around him actually being officially dead. But he got choked out. His body's there, so I'm assuming.
The thing is that, like, same thing, right? You saw, everybody's like, oh, we saw his body and blah blah, but think about it. In Dark World, it was his body as well.
Yeah, it's true.
It was his body. He was holding him. It was whatever. So what if he did the same thing? My brother was like, oh, I thought it was a fake him, but I saw that he did that knife trick. Or was that, I forgot, was it? No. I think it was my brother. And he goes, he did that knife. He brought that knife, and then he almost stabbed him, but didn't do it. But at the same time, I'm still stuck on that thought, because first of all, we're human. We don't want, we're always like, no, we don't want that person to die. We don't believe that person's dead, But I'm using, I guess, facts or patterns, I guess you can say. The fact that he did this in the Dark World, and I don't know, it didn't explain how he did it, but it showed that he still was able to hold him. He was still able to, physically see that he was there, making it there. So to me personally, I still think he's alive.
I mean, he may be. I personally think he's dead, but he may be still alive, because, like you said, there is a pattern of him coming back, and there's a pattern of him dying in ways that he's not going to come back, but he does.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to ask you that as well. I was like, because it's like some people actually are theorizing that there are actually Asgardians that are still alive, actually, that because apparently they not only do, like, Odin or Thor have, like, of course they have Thor has the lightning, right, and all that, but apparently Asgardians do have super strength, super, like, they, like, compared to regular humans, they have more strength and more durability than we do. So what if they did survive that ship, that ship thing or whatever? Who knows? Like, I didn't really dig deep into it. I saw a comment about it a while back, and
we do know that Valkyrie's alive, so that's one thing. Valkyrie's most likely alive. Well, it's kind of hard to tell, because a lot of people just died at the end of the movie. We don't know exactly how many people died or who died.
Exactly. The thing is that I think the people who are off screen are safe. I think we're okay to say that, because if they were to die, they would have showed it. Like the whole ending scene with Nick Fury, I was like, oh, they're showing Nick Fury, he's not gonna die, and then his hand starts to. I was like, what? I was like, what does that mean? I was like, okay, and of course that ending, Captain Marvel, I don't know in the theaters where you watched it, if people freaked out, but where I watched it, nobody freaked out, and I was like, these people don't know who she is.
I've had a couple of people get excited, but most of it was just people wondering what the hell it meant.
Yeah, it's like, I bet you right afterwards they're like, what did that ending mean?
I'm like, noobs.
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on, guys. I was like, okay, whatever. But okay, you want to touch up on something else before I get on another one?
Okay, so we don't know if Loki's alive or not. We see him die at the very end. I mean, at the very beginning. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And Thanos says, "You're not coming back this time." But we see him come back before, so we have no idea. So we have to guess and see. Have to wait and see, and if what's going to happen in the next movie.
Yeah.
You personally believe he's coming back. I believe he's dead. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
Heimdall's gone. Like Idris Elba's
Yes.
character, he's dead
Yeah.
officially.
Yeah.
He's got stabbed, so he's gone.
Yep.
And from there, we go to the Hulk getting his ass whooped and then being sent to Doctor Strange, Sanctum Sanctorum,
Yep.
where he warns the Avengers, who are all in chaos at the moment. So
Yeah.
we go right there.
Yeah. Um. Well, let's see.
We're not gonna go through the full movie. Just want to like go through key points because at this point, I feel like he comes down to Earth. He tells them about Thanos. It seems like everything's divided because after Captain America Civil War, everyone's gone their own separate ways. Everything's messed up. So
Yeah.
they're just not prepared for Thanos at all.
Yeah. And I think that's a perfect way. They built up to this in a perfect way, because I questioned myself even before Infinity War happened, even like I think even before Age of Ultron happened. I always question myself, how are they going to tear them apart? Because that's their whole deal. The first Avengers was that they didn't know each other, and obviously they didn't like each other at first. Like Thor, Iron Man, they fought. They had that scene, and then Captain America and Iron Man as well had that beef as well. So it's like how, like, obviously they made up after a while. Well, not Captain America and Iron Man, but these characters they built a bond, I guess. So it's like how would you break that bond for them to fight each other? And like I said, I feel like they did an amazing job doing that, building up to this movie.
All right, so they're all like everywhere. Everything's messed up. We don't know where Captain America's at.
Yeah.
Thanos comes to he sends his people to Earth, and they cause a lot of ruckus and a lot of havoc. And from there, we see all the characters coming in together, and they're just kind of meeting each other on the fly. So they're just running into each other, meeting each other for the first time. We get a couple of times that we get a little bit of comic relief out of it. Like certain people meet certain groups or so, like Thor with the Guardians was pretty funny.
Yeah, like what did he say? Who the hell are you guys? it's like oh, and the whole way Chris Pratt was very or Star-Lord, I should say, was very defensive, because he was like it felt like he was hitting on his girl. He's like he's you mean the unattractive guy and all that stuff. It's like, oh dude, that was just funny, and I mentioned it with you. It's kind of funny how they all were trying to steal the funny spotlight. Like they're all trying to sneak in something funny, and I just thought like they didn't push it too hard like I thought they sort of did in Thor Ragnarok. I feel like they were trying to push that narrative way too hard. I think this one had a better balance, mostly because it was like everybody was dying. I think that's why it's like everybody's dying, and then like the humor, so it's like it sort of balanced it out here. But and I think that's really it. Yeah.
Yes, everything's messed up. What do you want to move on to next? Like let's see. We have Scarlet Witch and the Vision. The show what's going on with them, that they're living a life together, and that's where Captain America is, and that's where Black Widow is. They're hanging out, kind of watching over them.
Yeah.
And so Thanos goes from like destroying Thor's ship, and then they go after Vision next, right?
Yeah. So that's, I believe that's the order, because they go, of course, go after Earth, and then they push him back, right? And they're like, oh, we'll be back, whatever. So they what's it called? They leave, and then was that how it worked? I think so.
Well, they had a big battle in New York, and then that leads to going to show like what's happening with in other places as well. There's so many things happening all at once. I feel like at the same time, they find a way to balance it, even though there's so many different storylines. Like I feel like the whole movie it has segments that could have been full, complete movies with certain characters, but it's scattered all around, and they find a way to bring it together and make it make sense. But it feels like something is always happening.
Yep. Yeah. It's and that's why I feel like they did. Like I keep saying it, but they did an amazing job there as well, because when it comes to movies like this, it's hard to. Some people just don't like the story; they just like action.
Yeah.
So it's like this movie did both. It did a storytell and just action, scene after scene after scene. It kept you on your edge. You're like, oh man, why did he die? Oh no! It's like, oh, it's like, oh, laughing moments. It was like a roller coaster of emotions. It just kept going and going and going, which is something that, like I said, they did a really good job at. Okay. Another thing, I know it's jumping like way off, like into the movie. Somebody had mentioned it actually at work that, of course, everybody's theorizing. Okay, so how are they gonna beat Thanos now? And whatever. And they're like, well, maybe, of course, Captain Marvel maybe did a spell on the Infinity Stones or something, and or something like that. But I feel the most logical thing that comes to mind is the other gauntlet, because of course we saw that he made one for him, and then there's still one on that planet, so that can be a way they bring everybody back, or I mean, that'd be the most logical thing, right? And of course we have to find out what happened to the Infinity Stone, so I guess that's another thing we have to stay tuned to find out as well, so what do you think about that? Do you think it was just there just for show, or like?
Well, they're going to find a way to bring everyone back because, of course, Black Panther dies in the movie, and he made them a ton of money. So you have that. They didn't fight for the rights for Spider-Man for so long just to kill him off. So we know what these characters are going to come back. But the movie did set up early that we didn't know who was going to die.
Yep.
I think setting up that they killed off Loki so early in the movie, and the way they did it, they were just killing people back to back, like for good. And we lost some people, like Gamora gets killed, and we don't think she's coming back. And it seems like they made clear that anyone could die in any moment.
Yeah, and that's a really good point to bring up, because in a lot of industries, in a lot of, like, I brought it up with you as well as The Walking Dead. Some characters you're like, they're not gonna kill them off, because it's like once they get shot in the head in that series, you're like, they're done. If they get bit, they're done. But in here, there's a sort of a safety net. But at the same time, they played us as well, because they made us think, they're not gonna kill them off. And that's exactly what they did. It's like, oh damn, wait, what? No, don't take them from us. And it's like, it's such a. I think that's where it caught us off guard, because it's like everybody expected, like we said, Captain America to die. He was supposed to die in this movie, and he didn't die. Big shocker, he didn't die. I was waiting for him to disintegrate. I was like, all right, he's gonna die too, so it don't matter. And I just see him, I'm like, dude, he's not dying. What?
I think this is a way to get him back in the suit. Like he's inspired to wear the Captain America suit, become Captain America again. Because at this moment, there are a lot of people gone, and they have to rely on the people who weren't in this movie to carry the next movie, or some of the people that survived, like Ant-Man and so forth.
Yeah,
they'll bring them in as well.
Yeah, actually, my brother brought this up. If you didn't know, like that, you probably noticed. But people who didn't dig deep into the movie, the original Avengers are alive. Like the OGs, they're all still alive. So in a way, it's an advantage, I guess you can say, because it's like the only one that's off, like not on the same page, is Captain America. Everybody else seems like they're getting along okay. So I feel like at this point he has to get along with them, because it's like, dude, this is Thanos. This is everybody. This is a universe. So why be selfish and be like, oh no, I'm not gonna be with y'all because of the Accords, So I think this is a push for him to, okay, get together. Let's think of a plan, to get back at him, speaking of Captain America, I have a point here as well. What did you think about the point where he goes in the scene where everybody is he's about to get the what was it, the Mind Stone, right? He was going for the Mind Stone. He's just getting rid of everybody left and right. But the only person that was able to hold him off for a little bit was Captain America. Because Captain America, he was going for the Mind Stone. He was getting rid of everybody left and right. But the only person that was able to hold him off for a little bit was Captain America. But the only person that was able to hold him off for a little bit was Captain America. I found that very interesting. Like I know he just knocked him down after a few seconds, but I
Yeah,
felt like he was shocked because he held his glove there for a little bit, and then he's like, "Whoa, what the heck?" And then that's when he just knocks him out. So I mean, do you think that I saw there was a video going out about it? I just don't know. Like I didn't watch it yet, so I don't know if you had anything touch on that.
well, Captain America is incredibly strong. He's a super soldier, so he should be able to do that. But going back to like his will, that's what really makes that scene work. Is from the very beginning, the first movie, Captain America: First Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
First Avenger. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He set up that he doesn't quit. He always moves forward,
Yep.
and he you already know he's hard headed. He's stubborn. He knows that wherever he feels is right, and he's always gonna go with what he feels is right, no matter what anyone else says.
Yeah.
And he always runs forward. And
Yeah.
I think the whole movie built up to him reclaiming being Captain America. He let that go in Civil War, and the next movies he'll probably wear the suit and be regular Captain America again. But I think that was the moment that he officially became Captain America again. When he ran towards Thanos and just grabbed his arm and held him.
Yeah.
After seeing everyone else get laid out, everyone's knocked out, he still runs towards Thanos,
Yep.
tries to stop him on his own.
Yeah, and that's such a it completely shocks me and bothers me, to be honest, because it's like, does this mean that Captain America can actually fight the Hulk? Because if he's able to hold him up, I mean, come on, the dude fought the Hulk, and the fact that he held him off, it makes me wonder. I'm like, dude, I need to see a Captain America versus Hulk. I'm like, because it's like if he was able to do that, it'd be an awesome. I think it'd be a pretty cool fight to see. It's like nobody ever puts them in comparison because they're like, oh, Hulk would tear him apart or something like that, of course, right? But in reality, a lot of people say that about the Hulk about anything, But you see him get knocked down. Thor would have won in Ragnarok, there's certain situations where he does lose. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Hulk fans. He does lose, But to me, I found that interesting that he was able to hold him off. And the Hulk was. I think the Hulk's fault there was that he overshot himself. He was like he was like, oh, I'm Hulk. I can beat anybody. His ego was just that big. And then once he just like fought back, he's like, whoa, wait, what's going on? And then by the time he caught his breath, he was on the floor.
Wait, it's also the Hulk's pretty much savage. That's the way he is.
Yeah.
And Thanos has technique. So the Hulk is just going and just doing what he does normally, smash.
Yeah.
And Thanos is using fighting technique. So he wasn't ready for that. He wasn't ready for someone who actually fight back, who's as strong as him and has technique, to throw hands pretty well with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's talk about Thanos for a moment. I mean, he's probably right now the best villain that Marvel's had.
Yes. I mean, the best reigning, I guess you can say, because the thing to me personally, I guess it's more of the actor who did Ultron. I feel like his actor did an amazing job with that role, because the way he played, the way he spoke, the way he he just did his character. I feel like he did amazing. But like you said, yes, Thanos is the enemy, the one where you're worried about. Like I said, that beginning of the movie, once he saw Hulk get a beatdown, we're like, oh crap, then we're done.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point to bring up, that yes, he is one of the best villains they've had in forever, and that's what they needed, and not a villain where it's like, oh, cliche Avengers win at the end, and it's like they turned it around on us, like turn it around literally.
I think they've gotten a lot of criticism for having like weak villains, and I think they actually addressed it. They started addressing it with the last couple of movies they've made. Spider-Man: Homecoming was the first time they actually had a really, really strong villain since Loki. And I think what they figured out is a villain's great if you give them a good reason for why they're doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
As they always say, the villain believing that he's the good guy, believing that he's doing the right thing, and truly believing in it is what makes a really good villain versus someone who's just doing things for pure evil or world domination.
Yeah.
And I think with Spider-Man: Homecoming, we saw a villain that had a valid reason to do what he did. He went about things the wrong way, but then he actually understood why he was doing it.
Yeah.
And then we got Black Panther and Eric Killmonger. A lot of things he said did make sense, but the way he executed is incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
And Thanos, he was completely wrong for what he did, but he was completely convinced that he was doing the right thing.
Yep. Actually, funny thing you bringing that up. Uh, and funny thing you're wearing the shirt as well. I told my brother about this, and I found it kind of interesting. Okay, so I compared three people, three villains, or yes, three villains in different series, complete different series. Okay, two are enemies, and then one's this one. Okay, they all had the same goal, and I found it
Yeah,
very interesting that they all had the same goal. Okay, so Thanos, of course, Light from Death Note, and then Samasu from Dragon Ball Super. Have you watched that far yet?
yeah,
Okay, so basically, there are three different levels. Okay, one's an
yeah,
extremist, one's like half and half, which is Thanos, like he literally did do half and half, and then one's the
yeah,
lowest one where it's like uh, I guess I'll explain. Okay, so the lowest one would be Light. He was trying to do good by, of course, the way he thought was the best way to get rid of the bad people, and basically having a threat is like, hey, if you're gonna be bad, you're going to die, you know.
yeah,
So that was and the fact that he just wanted to be God, he was wanting to be this superior being, right? Okay, so that was Light. Thanos, of course, we already know he his world collapsed after he predicted it. He was like, "Oh, okay, I want this world is going to end." He told his leaders, but the way we can end it is to get rid of half of the population, and then we can restart from where we left off, right?
yeah,
That's the way he thought. He was like, "Oh, you're a madman, right?" So he was like, "Okay," so he went off and did it. Basically, did it himself. We saw it. And then the extremist, which is Samasu, he just wanted to kill everybody.
yeah,
he didn't want humans humans to live because he felt like they weren't progressing as humans, and he was like, you know what, I need to get rid of y'all. Y'all aren't progressing. Y'all are using this beautiful world for nothing, and I'll use it better. So, and I felt like I brought those three up because they all share the same goal, all different levels of it, yeah, but they all had the same goal, was to get rid of the bad as they thought they were getting rid of the bad, to do good, but initially they were doing worse themselves, if you understand what I mean.
yeah. Because Thanos was like, "There's just too many people. Let's get rid of some of these people,
Yeah,
like all across the galaxy.
yeah,
Like that's how we
exactly.
solve our problem. Low resources. Just get rid of all the people. Get rid of half the people,
Yeah,
and we should be able to maintain our resources and everything will work out fine."
yeah.
And I love that scene at the very end. I think he's done all the things he's done, the people he's killed, including his own daughter.
Mhm.
And they gave a little bit of backstory of how he met her, how he took her in, and all that jazz.
Yep.
But I love at the very end of it, after all this death, all these people are gone, and we're mourning all these characters that are gone.
Mhm.
That he just sits down by himself and just smiles, and he's just happy.
Yeah, it's like
Like,
it's so shocking because it makes you think, like, of course, that scene where he sees Gamora, a little baby one, or not the baby one, little girl one. He sees Gamora, and what she said, something like, did it work, or did it happen, or something like that? And he was like, I think so. And at that point, I thought he'd killed himself as well.
yeah,
So I was like, yeah, you played yourself, but it eventually got back to reality, but it's kind of shocking because it's like that's what and this can apply in real life as well, that your determination as to what you want to do, you'll do whatever it takes. He literally messed up half of his body. He got rid of his daughter, which, by the way, he said a lot of, I don't know if you think this, but I thought this. I was like, dude, he doesn't love his daughter. He doesn't love anything. He's just like, I'll just sacrifice you. It's okay, But at the same time, there were actually little hints in the movie that showed that he does love her.
yeah,
Like that scene where they were looking for the Soul Stone. He was like, it better be up there for your sister's sake. He didn't say for your sake. He didn't say for her sake. He said for his sister's sake.
Yeah.
And that just shows that he's not willing to hurt her. You know.
There are little hints throughout the movie, like when Star Lord tries to shoot her,
Mm,
when she wants to die, and he
mm,
turns the guns, the phaser into like bubbles and stuff.
yeah,
He does stuff like that. He says he likes Star Lord because Star
mm,
Lord would do what's necessary,
yeah,
but at the same time, he was still protecting his daughter because he still loves his daughter.
yeah,
There are moments like that sprinkled throughout the movie, like you said, like those little hints of dialogue or those little moments where it shows he does care about Gamora.
yeah,
And even though we're conditioned to believe that he doesn't, like the Guardians movies, they made it clear that he was an awful father. He was very
yeah.
abusive and he was an asshole. So this Thanos we got is like completely different from what we heard about.
It's actually funny you bring that up because, and it's completely true because Gamora actually made it seem like he treated her horribly, but it's not that he treated her horribly. It was more the fact that she didn't like what he was doing. It was
Yeah,
like she was like, you literally killed my family, my people, you know. And it's like, why the heck am I going to love you, you know? And like even when they got when he brought her back, he didn't punish her or nothing. He got her food and she just threw it. She was like, I hate this throne, you know. I've always hated it. And he's like, well, I've always wanted you to sit on this throne, you know, one day, you know. And it shows that it shows that much, you know, even though like you said in that movie it seems like he's a complete horrible father, you know, but it's like it's more of the fact that he wasn't a horrible father to her, you know. So to me it's very shocking. And of course that scene when he's about to sacrifice her, it didn't seem like, oh, it was nothing, but if you take a step back, it was really a big deal for him, you
yeah,
know. And going back to that to him doing whatever it needed to be possible in to get his goal, for his goal to happen, for his love is practically his only love, his daughter, you know, half of his body. He was limping in the end of the movie, you know, so you know he's hurt, you know. And he thinks he's still correct. He, like you said, he smiled at the end.
he completely believes in what he's doing, and that allows him to do the things he does throughout the movie, kill the people he has to kill or he feels he has to kill. And
Yep.
he's a mix of like you don't feel bad for him, like some of the stuff he has to do, like kill his own daughter to reach his goal,
Yep.
but you can sympathize for him, or there's a little bit of empathy for him because of the fact that he does do what he feels is right, and he goes through all these things to make it happen, despite the fact that what he's doing is incredibly wrong,
Let,
and
let's just say
wins.
we're not sympathizing with the killer that killed half of the universe.
We're not doing that, but you got to actually, like, at the very end when he smiles at the very end,
Mm,
like that connected with me somehow because I felt like he achieved his dream, his goal that he wanted to do, the big thing he's been building up to
yeah,
for basically 10 years. He's
yeah,
been building up to this, and he won basically.
yeah.
Like, this is the end. This is what he wanted. Like, you know, the next movie they're going to probably most likely fix this
Yeah,
and change things around. But as for right now, he got what he wanted.
yeah. It was like, and bringing that subject back, you know, applying this to real life, right? It's this shows that, you know, your job, your what you want will not be achieved by making other people do it, or
Yeah.
relying on other people to do it for you. Eventually at the end you have to do it yourself, and he showed that. He's a perfect example, you know. He's like, you know what, like at the end of Avengers, you know what, I'm gonna just do it myself, you know. And
Yeah.
you know, and when I first watched that, I was like, man, who's this dude? He's gonna get the whole comment. But it's like this boy's like, oh wait, no. You know. But it's such a it's such a he, like I said, he's an amazing villain. Also, what's it called? I wanted to bring up actually Tony's vision.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring that up from what was it? Age of Ultron. He everybody was theorizing that vision was going to be Infinity War. That was going to be the death of everybody. And initially, like we mentioned earlier, those people that were dead in that in that scene are alive.
Yeah.
It's kind of the weird opposite thing, you know. I just found it kind of funny, and I wanted to bring it up. Do you have any?
I have an idea of why that happened. Like I put a lot of thought into it. Here's what I believe. Um, Thor sees Ragnarok
Yeah,
in a certain way, and then it does come eventually. So it
yeah.
does happen. So it proves that the visions they were seeing were going to happen eventually.
Hmm.
And then again, like you see, Doctor Strange looks into the future. He sees all these different million ways that this could end,
Yep.
and none of them end with them winning except for one.
Yeah.
And that's right before he saves Tony.
Yep.
So it shows that he knew that Tony wasn't going to die at the very end of this.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder if the vision that Tony had was true, but um, Doctor Strange changed that when he saved Tony.
You are correct. That is so true. And it's time is such a touchy subject, right? Because usually in movies or the way they show it in movies or in shows is that if you try to mess with time, first of all, it will mess up the future, obviously.
Yeah.
Or if you try to go back in time and fix something, because you did that, it causes what you were trying to prevent.
Yeah.
So I find it kind of funny that, and that's such you actually opened my mind to that. I didn't think of that because it's like, you see, he said there's over 14 million ways for this to end, and there's only one way for them to win. And it's kind of crazy because it's like, speaking on that scene. Let's talk about Chris Pratt for a second. I'm pissed off at him. Okay?
Yeah, everyone's mad at him right now. Everyone's pissed off at him.
Pissed off at him because it's like, of course, pointing out the obvious. It would have looked better on us if that scene would have gone on without him punching him, because they took the gauntlet off for a split second and he just like brings it back in, So I'm like, no, why did you do that?
It's kind of a mixed bag because some people believe that his relationship with Gamora wasn't strong enough for that reaction he had. Like me personally, I kind of feel the same. I feel like it was a one-sided relationship. I feel he cared about Gamora more than she showed that she cared about him.
Yeah.
And even though they cared about each other, it just seems like I think the other way around, she wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
my personal opinion.
Same thing. I didn't think of that, but it that hits even more of a point why to hate him at this moment, because it's like you literally like we probably could have brought her back. Who knows at this point? But you know what? You decided to get pissed off. Who's Gamora? Where's Gamora? Why Gamora? It's like I don't like. To me, I'm like, dude, that was so that aggravated. Like once that scene ended, I told my brother, I was like, dude, they could have like I said, you even mentioned it that what if they did let that happen? What if that was one of the endings where they do lose?
Yeah,
like so. But it looked like we had hope at that point though, because it's like when they first planned it out, they were like, oh, we're gonna go straight to Thanos, we're gonna beat him, right? I'm like, y'all are not going to beat him. I was like, y'all can't do anything, I was like, okay, yeah, you do have Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Iron Man. Yes, I was like, I get it, y'all are strong characters, but at the same time, you have to realize it's Thanos. This dude already had 3, I think. No, did he have 3 or something? He had more.
I think he had all of them except the last one, because after that he goes to Earth to get the last stone.
Yeah, so he had all of them. So I'm like, dude, how are y'all going to? Y'all are not going to win. I'll say, right? So I sort of had that mentality, and maybe in a way he had that mentality as well. He was just like, I have the gauntlet, I can win, But the fact that they played their cards really well on the spot. They had him on the ropes, So that's why I was like, man. They had hope. We had hope, and then Chris Pratt crushed it.
I wonder that was kind of Doctor Strange's plan though, because like I said, he had so many ways it could have ended.
Yeah,
I wonder if Chris Pratt or Star-Lord would have took off the gauntlet, and it would have triggered another event or another way of it ending. Also, it kind of sucks that Doctor Strange is dead now, because now they have no one to give them answers of how things should play out next.
Yep, exactly. Because it's like, and I think that's exactly why they did that, because they know I saw a meme actually the other day. It was like Doctor Strange saw over 14 million endings, and he didn't spoil any of them. So Doctor Strange. I was like,
no spoilers.
That's hilarious. So I was like, yeah, but it's like me personally, and I've told you this as well. Doctor Strange is one of my favorites. Next to
Yeah.
like of course Tony Stark, and all of them. I feel like he's one of my favorites just because of his character, his power, of course. It's just he's a solid all around character now. Of
Yeah.
course, in Doctor Strange, the first movie, he was very struggling, and then and then you saw Dark. I mean, not Dark World. Was it Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Was it Ragnarok where they go back into, yeah, it was Ragnarok. Yeah, so you see Doctor Strange in that movie and you can see he's way improved, like a lot, so it's like, oh my gosh, and then like now you see completely how he's evolved, which is why I personally love
What I always loved about the character is the fact that he didn't get powers from like an accident or like taking some kind of like injection or anything.
yeah.
He got his powers from just like he got his PhD. He just studied and he just worked on it over and over and over again until he improved it. I like the fact that he just got good at it.
Yeah,
As I say on the internet, get good.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. It's like he put his he used, because in the movie The Chosen One said, let go of what you know, because everything you're gonna see here is just completely different, right? But in a way, he didn't let go. He kept that mentality of, okay, I need to study, 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 study. And even when he was sleeping, he let his what was it? I forgot what it's called. What is it called? His ghost form. I can't remember what it's
Oh
called.
yeah, I can't think of it right now. I haven't seen Doctor Strange in a long time. I saw it in theaters and I haven't seen it since, to be honest.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
my favorite movies, but actually I did put it on television recently.
Mhm.
Doctor Strange is a good movie. You don't have to actually watch. You have it in the background sometimes while you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Such a great movie. It's one of my favorites, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, like so yeah. Back to that. What's it called? When he's in, it's bothering me that I can't remember the name, but he's in that ghost form, but he's asleep, but he's still studying as that ghost form. So it's like,
Yeah.
it shows how much dedication he shows, and I didn't really quite think of that he did that as well, So it's a really good character type of thing, But okay, and this is the last thing I have on my list, and I think everybody has heard about it, and we've mentioned it as well. That scene where with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
That was an intense scene. I think they put that nail on that coffin on us at that point, because like you saw your favorite characters dying. You're like, oh no, you felt it. But that scene, they really milked it. Because they're like we want y'all to cry, And it's like they said it in or I don't know if you can confirm. I guess they were saying that he improvised that scene.
For what they're saying and for all the reports, they're saying he improvised a scene out of nowhere. Basically, they just let him roll with it. And you see a lot of people die in the movie because, like, after the people who just were flat out murdered,
Mhm.
everyone else fades away, and then you see certain people fade away. Like the first person to fade away is Bucky.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you see Cap just kind of lose his shit a little.
Yeah.
You could like kind of excuse the fact that Bucky's dying, because even though he means a lot to Captain America and he's a great character, I feel like Bucky dying is not that big of a shock as to like other people who died afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
Black Panther or so. And with that Spider-Man scene, the reason why it really gets to you is because Spider-Man Homecoming, they put a lie to let you know this guy's a teenager who's doing the best he can, trying to be a superhero and struggling with it, looking up to Tony Stark and trying to actually basically Tony Stark's his father figure. And he wants to be an Avenger. He really wants to be a part of his team. And at that moment when he's dying, it's like a slap in the face to make you realize once again, this is a kid dying.
Yep. Yeah.
He acted like a kid dying too.
Yeah. And like you said, and that's the thing that popped into my head, and I was like, that's why I thought it was planned, because I felt like they did a really well job with showing that Tony's trying to be that father figure for him, like in Spider-Man Homecoming, he grounded him. He took away his toys, and he was like, you know what? I told you to stay away. You didn't, so give me your toy, and and it shows, that he looks up to him a lot, he relies on him a lot, and the fact that he just fell into his arms and died, it made that scene so much more better, and I'm so glad that he did that, because he it's funny because I don't know if Robert Downey Jr. knew how to react, because Spider-Man led that scene himself. If you look back into the scene, I saw it on YouTube, but if you look back into the scene, Robert is just, the only line he says is, "Are you all right?" And he's just taking over the whole scene after that. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm like, first of all, what are you sorry about? I guess because he got on board, I guess, or something.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, so he can roll with it. I feel like some of it's kind of written and he just went off script. But the part when Spider-Man takes the whole scene for himself, and Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr., I don't think he gets enough credit for how he played off of that scene, because while Tom Holland is doing this thing and he's really going into it, just really leaning into it, Robert Downey Jr. has this look on his face that's kind of forgotten because you're focused on Spider-Man. It's like he doesn't know what to say.
Yeah,
which is like what Tony Stark would be at. He wouldn't know what to say, because at this moment he doesn't know what to say to a kid that's dying.
Yeah,
who tried to do his best for him and tried to live up to his expectations. And then also you really play into it earlier in the movie. Tony's talking to Pepper about having kids in the future, maybe settling down.
That's right. I completely forgot about that.
And now he's kind of watching his son, in a way, die in his arms, and there's absolutely nothing he can do about it.
Yep.
And the face he has when it's happening, it just makes the scene as well.
Yeah. It worked out perfectly. Like I said, that some people do not like the ending. It might be a not very popular opinion, but I loved it. The dark endings are still good endings. People need to understand that. Not all movies should end in a good way. Not just by, oh, we killed one person off and it's just the extra in the back. It's like, no, they killed off a whole chunk of people, especially the new ones. The ones who barely only have one movie. They killed those our favorites, and it struck us. And to me, that's what made it a great movie. They caught us off guard. We expected one thing. They completely made a complete left turn where we're expecting a right turn. So it overall, to, I guess, wrap this up. I don't know if you want to bring something up before we end.
I think we covered everything, because the Spider-Man thing is like the most memorable part in the movie. Out of all the deaths, the Spider-Man one is the one everyone felt the most. Even if they have never seen Spider-Man Homecoming, or Spider-Man is not their favorite character, or they're more concerned with the death of another character, that Spider-Man scene is, it's the end all be all of like tearjerkers.
Yeah.
From both performances of both sides, they just brought it.
Yeah, like I said, that scene was just milking it, type of salt in the wound type of deal. They wanted to see y'all suffer, and I was just like, I'm a man, don't cry in the theater.
I'm not gonna cry in front of my wife. No.
I was like, man, like it was like I said, that was just an insane ending, insane beginning. Everything just started off with a bang, and they kept that constant, and that's what I love, and I hope they keep that I hope they don't bring that bar down, I hope they keep it there, obviously. For those of you who do not know, I love Marvel, but I do watch DC as well. I don't mind it. I would love to see Justice League. I would love to see DC pick up on their movies, do really good, and maybe be on par with Marvel. Like, same with the emotion, same with the action. It'd be amazing to see that, because with Marvel we have to wait a few months at a time for a superhero movie. So this is a perfect opportunity to stick other superhero movies during that time. Because if you put other superhero movies while Marvel's going on, Marvel's going to take all the revenue right there. It's going to take all the money. So I feel like at this time, especially since after the Avengers, Or maybe he should have done it before the Avengers because now everybody's too hyped about the Avengers, you
Yeah.
know. But it'd be a perfect time to bring out new superhero movies, you know.
I personally think that DC just needs to focus on making good solo movies. They rushed to the finish line to catch up with Marvel, which they should never have done because
Yeah.
it's not a race.
Yep.
It wasn't a race.
Yeah.
I think after they got Justice League out, now they just need to focus on giving these characters really good movies. I'm hearing that Aquaman, the reactions, the little reactions has gotten so far from people who actually seen a screener of it.
Mhm.
They're saying it's really good. I mean, they've showed with the right directors, they can make really good movies. Wonder Woman, Aquaman, I'm hearing good things about. I personally think Suicide Squad wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
So I think they can do some really good things. Before we wrap it up, I just want to say one thing.
Mhm.
I'm predicting that we'll get something just a slightly little sadder than Spider-Man dying in the next Avengers movie. I have a feeling that Hawkeye's going to show up and he's going to say that his family faded away in front of him.
Oh damn, that'd be crazy. That'd be
I have a
crazy.
feeling they're going to say that.
Dang, and that would actually trigger him to get back into it. Wow, that I didn't think of that at all. Wow, yeah, like it's of course Hawkeye, the main ones, Hawkeye, Ant-Man weren't there, you know.
Yeah.
Ant-Man having his movie soon, and everybody's predicting that's the same timeline where Infinity War is happening. So, but wow, I didn't think of that. That's a good point to bring up. And I wouldn't be surprised, you know. Like we said, we've mentioned, you know,
Okay, I'll be.
What? Oh, no, I was gonna say they obviously know.
Say before we wrap up. Oh, go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'll wrap up.
Oh, okay. Like we saw with this movie itself, they know how to mess with our emotions.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be surprised if they like punch us in the heart again. You know. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Before we leave, I want you to go ahead and tell everyone about yourself, about your channel, and basically the kind of content you make, and basically what you do.
Oh, okay. So basically, I am a small YouTube creator as well. You know, I love editing videos. I do surround my videos on one game, and unfortunately, the game I do play, it is kind of complicated to understand. I did not understand it up until I had to play it. I had to play it for a few days for me to actually catch on to the train. But I do practically a whole bunch of intros, anything to Avengers, to Batman, to I'm doing a Star Wars one for today. Practically anything you can practically think of, anime. I try to fit everything into an intro. You know, that's basically what my channel is. Basically, if you're having a load off, you're having a bad day, my videos are to watch me fail, to watch me to laugh at me. You know, that's basically what it is. So I
just want to say I don't understand the game itself. Like I never played it before, but I've watched your videos and I just love your videos because of you.
Oh, thank you.
You bring a lot of energy to it. You're funny. Your editing is hilarious. I enjoy your videos despite not knowing what the hell is going on. But I can say that regardless of not knowing what the hell is going on, you're still entertaining. I just want to say that for everyone watching it.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that.
All right.
I promise you, I'm not paying him to say that.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. That was our Avengers Infinity War talk. We actually shared a little bit of spoilers, how we felt about it. It was more of a discussion than actual review. Everyone's told you that it's great, so we would just be another group of people telling you that it's great. So that's a waste of your time. We were just wanted to share like how we felt about certain elements and certain things that happen in the movie.
Yep. So I guess we'll see y'all later. Maybe we are actually planning something else. So
yeah,
see y'all later. I'm not gonna spoil what it's gonna be, but we'll see y'all later.
All right, you guys take care.
All right, peace.